Welcome to Randy Woodfield, the charming nightmare of the I-5. Cherie Hull was a vivacious and intelligent 20-year-old college student living in Portland, Oregon in the late 1970s. She had dreams of becoming a successful businesswoman and had a bright future ahead of her. Cherie was known for her warm smile and friendly demeanor, which endeared her to everyone she met. On a fateful evening in January 1981, Cherie's life took a dark and unexpected turn. She had been visiting a friend and was on her way home when she mysteriously disappeared. Her loved ones became frantic as they searched for any sign of her, but there was no trace of Cherie anywhere. Unbeknownst to her family and friends, Randy Woodfield was lurking in the area. Woodfield, a former college football star turned petty criminal, had escalated his crimes to a terrifying level. He was known for his charming demeanor, which he used to gain the trust of his victims before revealing his true sinister intentions. Woodfield's encounter with Cherie Hull was no different. He approached her, feigning friendliness and concern, and offered her a ride home. Cherie, unaware of the danger she was in, accepted the seemingly innocent offer. Once inside Woodfield's vehicle, the nightmare began. Instead of taking Cherie home, Woodfield drove her to a secluded area far from any potential witnesses. There, he subjected her to unspeakable horrors, including sexual assault and physical violence. Cherie fought for her life, but Woodfield's brutality proved overwhelming. Tragically, Cherie's life was brutally cut short when Woodfield strangled her to death. Her young dreams and aspirations were extinguished in a matter of hours by a heartless and remorseless killer. After ending Cherie's life, Woodfield callously left her lifeless body in the remote location and disappeared into the night. Cherie's disappearance prompted a massive search effort, but it would be weeks before her remains were discovered. Randy Woodfield continued his reign of terror for several months, committing a series of rapes, robberies, and murders along the I-5 corridor in the Pacific Northwest. His crimes struck fear into the hearts of countless people and baffled law enforcement agencies. It wasn't until May 1981 that Woodfield's killing spree came to an end when he was finally apprehended. He was subsequently convicted of multiple counts of murder, rape, and other crimes, earning him a life sentence in prison without the possibility of parole. Randy Stephen Woodfield, the notorious I-5 killer or I-5 bandit, was born on December 26, 1950 in Salem, Oregon, USA. His life journey took a dark and horrifying turn, leading him to become one of the most notorious serial killers in the Pacific Northwest during the late 1970s and early 1980s. Randy Woodfield's early life appeared relatively normal. He was a talented athlete and standout football player during his high school years in Newport, Oregon. He even played briefly for the Green Bay Packers, a dream come true for many aspiring football players. However, beneath this veneer of normalcy, there were signs of trouble. Woodfield had a history of petty crimes, including theft and vandalism, which foreshadowed his descent into a life of crime. After failing to secure a permanent spot in professional football, Woodfield's life took a dark turn. He began a series of petty crimes, including burglaries and thefts. His criminal activities escalated when he committed his first known murder in 1980, signaling the beginning of a chilling killing spree. Woodfield's reign of terror primarily targeted women along the I-5 corridor in the Pacific Northwest, which runs from California to Washington. His victims were often young, attractive, and in some cases, hitchhikers. Woodfield's modus operandi included luring his victims under the pretense of providing assistance or offering rides before revealing his true, malevolent intentions. His crimes were marked by extreme violence, sexual assault, and murder. He left a trail of mutilated and lifeless bodies in his wake, terrorizing communities along the highway. Law enforcement agencies launched an intensive manhunt for the I-5 killer, and the hunt for Woodfield continued for several months. In 1981, he was finally apprehended thanks to diligent police work and the cooperation of multiple agencies. He was arrested on unrelated charges, but the evidence connecting him to the murders and other crimes soon became overwhelming. Randy Woodfield was eventually convicted of multiple counts of murder, sexual assault, and other crimes. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, ensuring that he would never be released to commit further atrocities. Woodfield's crimes left a lasting scar on the Pacific Northwest, instilling fear and mistrust in the communities he terrorized. His capture and conviction brought a sense of closure to the victims' families and a measure of justice for those affected by his brutality. Randy Stephen Woodfield, the I-5 highway killer, was an extremely unsavory figure in the annals of American crime. Here are some intriguing and disturbing facts about him. Woodfield briefly tried to pursue a career as a professional soccer player and was signed as a free agent with the Green Bay Packers in 1974. However, his soccer dreams were short-lived and he was cut from the team during training camp. Woodfield's pleasant appearance and charisma made it easy for him to fit into society. Many who knew him described him as charming and handsome, which he used to gain the trust of his victims. Woodfield's IQ was reportedly 123, which is considered to be above average. It may have been this level of intelligence that helped him evade capture for an extended period of time. Woodfield's crimes were not limited to one location or one incident. He committed a series of murders spanning several states along the I-5 freeway, choosing victims along the highway. Even after his arrest and conviction, Woodfield continued to claim his innocence and denied his involvement in the crimes, even though there was overwhelming evidence to the contrary. His denials added to the frustration and pain of the victims' families. Some reports suggest that Woodfield may have had accomplices, particularly during the commission of some of the robberies and burglaries. However, the exact extent of his involvement with other criminals remains unclear. Woodfield's case received considerable media attention both during his crimes and after his capture. His story has been the subject of numerous books, documentaries, and true crime television programs. Woodfield's case continues to interest true crime buffs, psychologists, and forensic scientists who seek to understand the motivations and behavior of serial killers. Woodfield is serving a life sentence in the Oregon State Penitentiary. During his incarceration, he has been disciplined for various offenses, including possession of contraband. Survivors and families of Woodfield's victims have experienced deep pain and trauma. His crimes have left an indelible mark on their lives, and many have subsequently become advocates for victims' rights and violence prevention. The life and crimes of Randy Stephen Woodfield remain a chilling reminder of man's capacity for atrocity and the importance of vigilant law enforcement and community awareness in identifying and apprehending serial killers. Thank you for venturing into the chilling world of Randy Woodfield with us.